Hey, what's up, guys? Trying a new angle. That's why I'm like kind of leaning right there. But I just wanted to talk about this. This was the second thing I was thinking about making a video about. It's the whole Sony upgrade thing with especially it came a blow with Horizon. I remember I got really pissed when they were doing this Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, whatever the hell, and they were releasing this Ikishima Island DLC, and I had already bought Ghost of Tsushima the year before. I bought a full price, $60, didn't regret it. But then they're like, in order to get the PS5 version and the DLC, you have to pay $30 for that upgrade. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. I'm sorry. I bought the game at launch, um, and paid $60, and now I need to pay $90 when somebody who waited a year could buy the PS5 version and spend only $70. That's just complete bullshit, in my opinion. Um, I think it's just complete stupidity, and it came to a head with Horizon and people getting really pissed off, and then Sony backtracks and they're like, okay, well, from now on, it's $10 an upgrade, and Horizons is gonna be free. It's like, wow, thank you for doing the right thing after everybody got pissed. I don't understand how this was a hard thing to do. You were seeing other companies giving out free upgrades. Hell, fucking EA gave me a free upgrade for Madden when you couldn't give, and FIFA, and you couldn't give me a free upgrade for your games. It's just like honestly crazy when EA is doing something right and Sony's not. I mean, I honestly thought it was in Bizarro World, and then Sony backtracks, not to the point where people wanted, but a $10 upgrade that's better than the ridiculous amount of upgrade price they were doing. And it was like, I think if you wanted both versions, you had to buy the digital deluxe edition, which was what, $80. So I mean, that was great. I mean, I just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this is easy, dude. If you are gonna keep making games on PS4 and put them out on PS5 too, and instead of doing the generation shit you were talking about, how about you fucking actually, like, make it easier on people who want to buy a PS5? I mean, there's a reason why they're doing this. Clearly, 100 million PS4s. You want 100. You want, part of that 100 million. You also want the people who bought the PS5, and also you want people to buy PS5s because you want a reason. But guess what? There is no reason of buying a PS5 if you're gonna keep putting out all your games on PS4. I mean, they're gonna play like shit. But Horizon, God of War, Gran Turismo 7, they're gonna play great. They're not gonna play as great as PS5. It's gonna be like Miles Morales. I mean, you're not gonna have as many choices, um, whether it's playing in 4K 60 or you're gonna be playing in 4K 30. If you have a base PS4, you're probably not gonna play in 4K. But I mean, that's what it comes down to. The game is, but also the thing that really pisses me off is these games aren't only PS5. That means they're not gonna be like Ratchet and Clank. They're not gonna have, you know, crisp. The loading will probably be crisp, but I think the scope of these games is going to be taken down because you're having to worry about a base PS4. That's right. You're not worrying about just a PS4 Pro. You're worrying about a base PS4. That thing is way weaker than PS4 Pro, and the PS4 Pro is way weaker than PS5. I mean, that's really what gets me. Is I wanted Horizon. To be honest, I was fine with it. I thought that was going to come out this year, and it would have been fine. But hey, it got delayed. But anyway, I still would have been fine. God of War being a PS4 game really pissed me off. That game was never coming out this year. If you thought that, you were kind of deluded. But it was coming out next year. I think a lot of people thought it was going to come out next year, probably come around April or May or something like that. Definitely probably going to be May now since Horizon's coming out in February. But or hell, I mean, they could probably put it out in November and October, but it doesn't really matter. That's not the point. This upgrade thing, I don't know how it got so complicated. If you're gonna make people have an inferior product in quotes, if it's gonna come out on PS4, make it easy on people who know are already in your system. Make it easy for them to make that decision buy PS5. But, I mean, all things equal, if anyone could buy PS5, they could just have these games there already instead of having to pay money for these games. I mean, how Microsoft is doing this, I mean, nobody buys their game because they just buy Game Pass, but like if you buy Halo, you're gonna be and then upgrade, you get the Series X version. I mean, also just think about it, playing the PS5 version is so crazy. Like I remember when I first downloaded Spider-Man, I almost played the PS4 version because they couldn't figure it out, and then they eventually changed it to where I think the PS5 version is always there. It's kind of weird because it's like, but I remember FIFA was also doing this, Rainbow Six was doing this. Every game that had an upgrade was doing this, where the PS4 version and the PS5 version would download, and then you would play the PS4 version. Now it's kind of easy to tell because the PS4 version is going to say PS4 in like the top corner over here-ish, and the regular PS5 version is just going to say the title. But you're going to just assume, hey, this is the game. You're not going to really question the PS4 thing because you're not looking up in a corner. uh it's just dumb. How Microsoft does it is, you know, you play, let's say, Yakuza, because this is also a game that did it. If you're playing the Yakuza on Xbox One but then you upgrade to Series X, you don't need to do anything because when you download it and play the game through smart delivery, I mean, hell, with smart delivery you didn't need a stupid name like that. You could have just done this. You're playing the Xbox Series X version just automatically. um so just honestly, it's just frustrating to deal with. I mean, I'm a Sony guy. I mean, I remember my first console, my first home console, let me just clear that up, was a PS2. My first actual gaming console was a Game Boy Advance. That's how young I am. Um, even though I'm pretty old now. But, you know, this is just so frustrating. Like, I'm not going to go out and buy an Xbox. I have a PC. There's no point. Um, you know, but like, I think that's also the problem, is there's no point in owning an Xbox. I think Sony knows that, and they're trying to push the envelope as far as they can, and people slapped them back down, said no, this is ridiculous. And I think with Ghost of Tsushima people were really peeved, but then with Horizon it was just like, you know, throwing gas on a fire. um and I'm really not even sure if Ghost of Tsushima is covered under this, but they said future titles are like PlayStation exclusive. They made that real point. So maybe like Gran Turismo and God of War that come out on PS4, you get this $10 upgrade. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not perfect, but their games are $70 on PS5. So I mean, they're just trying to say like, hey, you just paid the $70 to us. It's all good, man. It's like, oh, that's another like can of worms. Like moving games up to $70. I think honestly this is contentious, but I have no problem with it. I think if you look at, you know, finances and stuff like that, games are getting more and more expensive. Inflation is a thing. You know, games have cost $60, I think, since the PS3 generation or some crap like that. They really have not moved up in a long time. Moving it up $10 doesn't cover for inflation. Games should probably be costing not even $80, probably like $90 to cover inflation. It's a real thing, and you know that's why you're seeing microtransactions and loot boxes, because they're having to cover these development costs, this marketing costs, and stuff like that. Um, it's still not an excuse to treat your customer like shit just because you can, and just because of money, because it doesn't come off as good. Saying, "Hey guys, we need to do this because we need to make money." That doesn't really help people who are like, "Well, I can only buy this one game." I mean, maybe even 3 months or something like that, and you can't just treat people like this. It's like, well, what if I, you know, buy this PS4 version, but I get a PS5 when Horizon comes out? Just think about it. Like, if you want big pre-order numbers, just make it easy for people to pre-order, and then when they get a PS5 down the line, it's like, oh, they got the game. It's like you got your money. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there are lots of games that are having these upgrades. I mean, I think of Outriders. That's a recent game that came out. It was $60 on PS4, but you get a free upgrade to PS5. And I thought, you know, that's cool. They're not increasing their price, and they're still giving you an upgrade, Sony. So honestly, it's just bullshit. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a problem, and you know, I'm glad Sony corrected it. I usually take this approach with a lot of, you know, news that's like polarizing. I usually wait 24 hours, gather some information, and then maybe I'll make a comment like this on a video. But Sony corrected a mistake that really didn't need to happen, is the bottom line. I'm not going to give them credit for correcting their bullshit. So yeah, I mean, that's the video. you liked it, guys, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And until next one, take care and bye.